You are too broke to be shy. Do it shy, do it scared, do it with your voice shaking, but do it. Because while you're hiding, someone else is showing up. If you don't have skills, you don't have leverage. And without leverage, you will always be stuck working harder for less. Skills are the new currency. Opportunities rarely fall into your laps. They come when people know you exist, know your work, or see your value. Shyness keeps you invisible, and invisibility keeps you broke. In this video, I have come to scream at you, yes, to let you know some habits keeping you broke that you might not be aware of. Because most people don't go broke because of one catastrophic mistake. They go broke because of small silent habits that slowly bleed them dry. Habits they don't even realize are holding them back. As James Clear said in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And if your daily systems are built on pride, procrastination, and poor money habits, you will stay stuck no matter how much you dream. So in this video, I'll be breaking down 7 habits that quietly keep people broke. Some of them are subtle, some of them are obvious, but all of them can be fixed once you see them for what they are. So let's dive in. First habit keeping a lot of people broke is pride and ego. Ryan Holiday puts it perfectly in his book Ego is the Enemy. Most successful people are not driven by ego, but in spite of it. That is exactly the problem. When ego runs the show, it pushes you to make financial decisions that look good on the outside but wreck your foundation on the inside. Ego is when you upgrade your car, not because you need it, but because you want to signal success. Ego is buying designer clothes or shoes or latest iPhones on credit when your savings account is empty. Ego is refusing to ask questions about maybe investing or things you know nothing about but don't want to look stupid. And here is the trap. Ego doesn't just cost you money, it costs you growth, it costs you opportunities. Psychologists call it the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with least knowledge often overestimate their competence. In money terms, that's the person who thinks they are too smart to budget, too confident to learn, too proud to admit they need advice. But humility does the opposite. Humility says, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. And that's how wealth is built, through curiosity, education, and steady progress. Pride tells you to look rich. Humility teaches you to actually become rich. And the sooner you drop the ego, the sooner your money starts working for you instead of against you. Which leads us to the second one, which is not tracking your spending. We've all heard it before. Oh, it's just €5. Oh, it's just $5. It doesn't matter. But here's the truth. It does matter, because €5 never shows up alone. It's €5 on coffee, €10 on takeout, €15 on Amazon. Done once, no problem. But done daily, and suddenly is a habit eating through your bank account. There's a research on this. The National Endowment for Finance Education found that people underestimate their discretionary spending by up to 30%. So if you think you're spending €500 a month on little extras, you probably might be spending closer than €650, not because of one big purchase, €5 here, €3 there, €15 there. And here is the psychological twist. Our brain use something we call mental accounting. We treat small purchases as if they don't count, but our bank balance doesn't care whether it's €5 or €500. Tracking isn't about guilt tripping yourself out of enjoying life. It's about awareness, because you can't fix what you don't measure. Jim Rohn said it best. A few disciplines practiced every day can lead to success, while a few errors repeated every day can lead to disaster. Not tracking your expenses is one of those daily errors. It feels harmless, but over time, it quietly keeps you broke. Which brings us to the third habit, which is refusing to learn about money. A lot of people are on this table. Here is the paradox. Almost everyone says they want more money. We'll ask them about maybe budgeting, investing, compound interest. Silence, you won't hear anything. According to the OECD, only 1 in 3 adults worldwide are considered financially literate. And yet we live in an economy where financial knowledge is literally a superpower. Think about it. The stock market has averaged about 10% annual returns for over 100 years. But if you don't know how to invest, you miss out on decades of compounding. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it. Those who don't pay it. Refusing financial literacy is like wanting to be healthy but refusing to learn nutrition, or wanting to be a doctor but refusing to learn anything about biology. It just doesn't work like that. And the good news is that financial literacy has never been more accessible. You don't need any finance degree. You just need curiosity, humility, and a willingness to start. There are books, podcasts, YouTube videos with information that are free. Money is one subject that we all have to live with every single day. Ignoring it won't make the problems go away, but learning about it, that's the first step to breaking free from paycheck to paycheck cycle. Which brings us to the fourth one, which is having no skill or value to provide. The economy is changing faster than ever. AI, automation, globalization, remote work, jobs that were safe 10 years ago are vanishing, and new ones are being created overnight. The truth is, the marketplace doesn't pay you for time, they mostly pay for value, and the value you bring is directly tied to your skills. Harvard Business School review points out that workers with in-demand skills can earn up to 30% more than those without. That's a massive difference over a lifetime, right? Unlike 50 years ago, you don't need a formal degree to build those skills. We have platforms like Coursera, even this YouTube, Skillshare, and even more resources also on TikTok, Instagram. You can learn things like design, marketing, even coding, finance, copywriting, AI tools, often for little to no cost. If you don't have skills, you don't have leverage. And without leverage, you will always be stuck working harder for less. Skills are the new currency. Naval Ravikant said, play long-term games with long-term people. Building valuable skills is exactly that, a long-term game. You might not see results tomorrow or next tomorrow or even in a month, but the compound effect of skills is undeniable. So the earlier you start, the richer your opportunities become. This brings us to the fifth one, which is procrastination. And I'm not here to judge you because sometimes I procrastinate. We always say, oh, I'll start investing later, I'll learn that skill tomorrow, I'll launch the side hustle next year. But here is the reality. While you're waiting, someone else is already taking action and they are compounding their advantage while you stand still. Psychologists call this the intention action gap. The distance between what we say we do and what we actually do is the reason gym memberships spike in January but attendance drop by February. And financially, that gap is costly. Take investment, for example. If you put 200 euros a month into an index fund or an ETF starting at the age of 25, we could retire with nearly 400,000 euros more than if you waited until age 35 to start. Even though you only invested for 10 years extra, that's the cost of procrastination. Procrastination isn't neutral, it is expensive. Like I said at the beginning from Atomic Habits, and I quote, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And if your system is built on putting things off, you will never break the cycle. This brings us to the sixth habit, which is waiting until you're good enough to start. So many people tell themselves, I'll start YouTube once I buy the perfect camera, I'll invest once I have 1,000 or 10,000 saved up, I'll launch the business when I feel 100% ready. But here's the harsh truth. Someone with less skill, less money, and less experience has already started, and they are learning, failing, improving, and getting paid while you're still waiting for the stars to align. And psychologists call this the analysis paralysis. You get so caught up in preparing that you never actually act. And perfectionism only makes it worse. Brené Brown put it this way: perfection is not about healthy achievement, it's about fear. The reality is you don't get good by waiting, you get good by doing. Every expert you admire once started as a beginner with shaky hands, bad lighting, clumsy execution, but they did it anyway. Perfection is the enemy of progress. So if you wait until you're ready, you would never begin. And the longer you wait, the more compounding opportunities and learning opportunities that you miss out on. Which brings us to the next one, which is the last but not the least, shyness. That's the fear of showing up. I get it. Putting yourself out there is uncomfortable. Even for me at the beginning, it was extremely uncomfortable. Posting your work, picking up in meetings, asking for a raise, pitching your idea, it all feels scary. But here is the truth. You are too broke to be shy. Do it shy, do it scared, do it with your voice shaking, but do it. Because while you're hiding, someone else is showing up. They are building connections, creating visibility, and opening doors that you could have walked through. Susan Cain, who wrote Quiet, The Power of Introverts, reminds us that even introverts can thrive when they push past their fears. There is zero correlation between being the best talker and having the best ideas, which means your shyness could be hiding million-dollar ideas from the world. Opportunities rarely fall into your laps. They come when people know you exist, know your work, or see your value. Shyness keeps you invisible, and invisibility keeps you broke. Courage doesn't mean that you are not afraid. It means you move forward despite the fear. And even the smallest act of courage, publishing that YouTube video or raising your hands, or sharing your work, can completely change your financial trajectory. So these 7 habits that I have mentioned, they don't just cost you money. They cost you time, they cost you opportunity, and they cost you freedom. But the good news is that every single one of them is a choice. And if you can change your habits, you can also change your life. As Warren Buffett once said, chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Don't wait until it's too heavy. Start breaking these habits that keep you broke, one decision at a time. I hope you found this very helpful. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.